it has talented people. But right now we are stuck. We have, as I said, we are on a crossroads. Either we go the democratic way, or we are going, back to the old dark days of fascism, of dictatorship, and then there is no hope.
Bushra, I want to give you the mic for a quick question, and then I've got final two important questions for you, Mr. Khan. Bushra, a question for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So let me just go to Bushra, and she is a political commentator in the United Kingdom and is a regular on GB News. Please go ahead, Bushra.
Thank you, guys. I just want to begin by saying Assalamu alaikum to Sir Imran Khan. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be in a space with you. So I want to start by saying that. And I just wanted to echo the fact that you have millions of supporters internationally in the UK. Although we live in the UK, we are those that come from Pakistan. Our hearts are also always with Pakistan, and all we've ever wanted is that country to prosper. And we imagined one day that our children would go back and be exponentially proud of what Pakistan has become. So I commend you on every single effort, Sir Imran Khan, that you have been doing for the 27 years in politics. So that's what I'm going to start with. But my question basically is about Islamophobia and the connections and the links of terrorism and extremism. That is always an agenda that British Pakistani Muslims face in the UK. And I just wondered, in your ministerial position, did you ever come across that with other global leaders where you felt like they were also trying to vilify Pakistan, to say that perhaps terrorism was born out of that country, because British Pakistani Muslims face that on a daily basis simply for being from Pakistan?
Let me just say that I saw first time Islamophobia start, when the Iranian Revolution took place in '79. So there was a fear in the Western countries that all the Muslim world would be swept by what they call fundamentalists ruling the countries, and not really understanding the dynamics of why that Iranian Revolution took place. And then the other milestone was when Salman Rushdie wrote that book, Satanic Verses. And in the Western countries, they could not understand the Muslim reaction. They thought it was, Muslims were against freedom of expression. But they couldn't understand the love, respect, and reverence Muslims have for our holy prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him. So we, the heads of Muslim countries, never tried to explain to them, because their attitude to religion is completely different to how we look at religion. I mean, when I went to England first time, there were satires on Jesus Christ. So this is unthinkable about us, even thinking of making a satire on Jesus Christ. So I realized that they view religion completely differently, and we had not explained to them how our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lives in our hearts. And we couldn't explain to them why it causes us so much hurt and pain. And that I blame the Muslim leadership. I mean, the OIC, when I addressed the OIC as a prime minister, I tried to tell them that, look, it was our duty to tell the Western countries. And really, when I spoke in the United Nations, we actually then managed to get through that 15th of March would become anti-Islamophobic day, and sort of countries to understand that, by insulting the Holy Prophet, you can't hide behind freedom of expression by causing hurt to so many people. And the other problem we had after 9/11 was that terrorism got equated with Islam. Now, terrorism knows no religion. Terrorism has nothing to do with any religion. If there was Tamil suicide bombers in Sri Lanka, they had nothing to do with Hinduism. Or Japanese kamikaze pilots, again, had nothing to do with Shintoism. So somehow it became Islamic terrorism, and then it became radical Islam, as if there were different types of Islam. Actually, there's only one Islam of our Prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him. There's no other Islam. But in Muslim societies, they're radicals, they're liberals, and they're moderates like every other human society. But again, we failed to make them understand. So as a result, whenever there was a Muslim involved in a terrorist attack, the whole 1.5 billion Muslims were somehow held responsible. And then again, I think it was a failure of the Muslim world, of our leadership, to have explained to them. So this Islamophobia started with ignorance on the Western countries not understanding what Islam was, and our inability to make them understand it.
Mr. Khan, I want to go to, I've got two final questions for you, sir, because I want to be very cognizant of your time. And for me, these are the two most important questions. We're genuinely seeing, and I can now call it, a coup in Russia ongoing right now. And I know you did meet Mr. Putin, including the day after the Ukraine war. And I'm going to read out a last message from the chief of Wagner. Said, "We're starting." And before that, he said, "We urge Wagner group fighters not to carry out criminal and traitorous orders of Prigozhin." That was by the FSB, the Russian FSB, saying that. So my question to you, sir, having met Putin and knowing what you know about the war in Ukraine and based on your knowledge of Russian politics, your thoughts on what's going on right now in Russia caught us all by surprise. And the facts are the FSB will be taking action against the chief of Wagner for the attempted coup, and the chief of Wagner is saying that military officials or some people within the military are on his side as well, and the coup is in progress, and we're seeing military equipment across the streets in Russia in various cities. There was reports of shooting in Moscow, but we haven't been able to confirm those, so I will call them as rumors for now. So I would love to get your thoughts on this developing story and on Russian politics.
Well, Mario, my trip to Russia was being planned a couple of months before by our foreign office. And the idea was that Pakistan needed to buy cheap oil, because remember, this was the commodity super cycle aftermath of the coronavirus. And the prices all over the world went through the roof. Price of